If you ever thought celebrity life was free from danger, think again, because you're about to be shocked to your bones. Do you know that there are those celebrities who literally died on set even while doing their jobs? Please make no mistake, because we are talking about celebrities who, while the camera was rolling and, sometimes, right in the middle of a performance, took their last breath and kissed the world goodbye for reasons that would shock you. If you're wondering who these celebrity martyrs are and what really went wrong with them, join us because we are about to explore the stories of 18 celebrities who tragically died on set, with secrets surrounding their final moments revealed. 1. John Ritter, September 11, 2003.
To report to you on the sudden and unexpected death last night of television actor John Ritter at the age of 54. Ritter first hit it big in the 1970s television sitcom Three's Company.
John Ritter was a household name, beloved for his charm and comedic timing. But at 54, the world had to bid him farewell due to a tragic scene on set. John had been filming the sitcom 8 Simple Rules when he suddenly collapsed on set. When he was rushed to the hospital, doctors discovered a tear in his aorta, which was a rare and deadly condition, even for a star. Despite emergency surgery, John didn't survive. At the time, only 3 episodes of the new season had been completed. Hence, the show's creators had to rewrite the script, writing his character out with a heartfelt 2-part tribute. Ritter's death highlighted how silent health issues can strike without warning, even in the middle of a seemingly normal day. But his death isn't the most shocking celebrity death on set. 2. Martha Mansfield, November 30th, 1923.
After a take, she went to her car to relax with some colleagues. But what happened next would be as horrific as it was unexpected. Mansfield was born Martha Ehrlich on July 14, 1889 in New York City.
Martha Mansfield was just 23 years old when she was set on fire and met her gruesome end on set. She had just finished filming the final scene in a historical drama set in the 1860s. Everything seemed fine as everyone rested from their labor, but this was when tragedy struck. While seated in a vintage car near the set in San Antonio, Texas, the event that would end her life was set into motion. At that time, Martha was still dressed in her costume, which was made of highly flammable materials. In an unfortunate turn of events, a lit match that was accidentally thrown nearby landed on her clothing and quickly ignited it. All efforts of crew members to put out the fire failed, leading to a severe burn. Eventually, Martha was rushed to the hospital, but the burns were too severe to save her. She died the following day. Because the shooting was already done before the unfortunate incident, Martha's performance was preserved. Although the studio promoted the film using replacement actresses to help market it. The film was released in 1924, about a year after the chilling episode. 3. Brandon Lee, March 31st, 1993.
The tragic life and death of actor Brandon Lee. Brandon Lee, son of martial arts icon Bruce Lee, led a life marked by both promise and tragedy. Born on February 1, 1965, Brandon followed his father's footsteps, pursuing a career in acting. Despite his talent and potential, his life was cut short on March 31, 1993, when a tragic accident occurred on the set of The Crow. A prop gun misfired, fatally injuring Brandon during filming. His death shocked the world and left a void in the entertainment industry. Brandon Lee's legacy lives on through his work and the impact he made, but his untimely passing serves as a reminder of life's fragility and the unpredictability of fate.
Brandon Lee, the son of martial arts legend Bruce Lee, was undoubtedly doing quite well when it came to carrying on his father's legacy. However, his story is not one that ended well. As a matter of fact, Brandon was only 28 and on the brink of stardom when his life abruptly ended while filming a key revenge scene for The Crow. For the scene, which carried a bad omen, Brandon was meant to be shot with a prop gun loaded with blanks. However, due to a preparation oversight, a fragment from a dummy round had lodged in the barrel of the gun, unknown to anyone. When the blank was fired, so was the tragedy. The fragment was propelled out with deadly force, piercing Brandon's abdomen, leading to an intense battle for his life. After 6 hours of surgery, Brandon was pronounced dead. In the confusion, the production was halted for weeks but was eventually resumed, using stunt doubles and visual effects to complete Brandon's role. The film was released in 1994 and dedicated to Lee, serving as a haunting reminder of how one small mistake on set can end a life. 4. John Eric Hexum, October 18, 1984.
John Eric Hexum was born on November 5, 1957 in Englewood, New Jersey. He is known for being an actor and a model. He was on his way to having a great career in entertainment. He played football at Michigan State University, where he graduated in 1980 with a degree in philosophy.
John Eric Hexum was only 26 years old and had a rising career in television when he passed away in the most tragic and unsuspecting circumstances. Known for his energetic and vibrant nature, he found it hard to remain patient during a delay while filming the CBS series Cover-Up. As a result, he soon decided to make a joke that would prove to be a deadly mistake. Not realizing the danger, he picked up a prop gun loaded with blanks, jokingly placing it to his head and pulling the trigger. Unknown to him, though blanks don't fire bullets, the force of the blast at such close range could cause significant damage. In Hexum's case, it causes skull fracture, driving bone fragments into his brain that sent him into a coma almost immediately. He was rushed to the hospital and placed on life support, but was declared brain dead 6 days later. To savage the situation, his character was written out of the show, and the role was later filled by another actor, while the industry continued to mourn his untimely demise. 5. Grace McHugh, July 1, 1914. The tragedy surrounding Grace McHugh has left the entertainment industry mourning for a really long time. Being just 24 years old, Grace McHugh was a young actress who was beginning to gain ground in her career. However, her life was unexpectedly cut short on set while filming on a river plagued by strong currents and winds. On the 1st of July, 1914, the tragedy was set into motion during a scene where Grace McHugh had to cross the river while riding a horse. In an unfortunate twist of fate, she accidentally fell into the river while filming and was immediately swept away by the intense wave. In a bid to save the situation, the cameraman dived into the river trying to save the dying actress. However, the current proved to be stronger than expected, and both of them were swept away. All efforts to save them failed. Tragically, both lost their lives in the river, leading to great mourning in the industry. The original footage from the shoot was also never recovered, swept away with the cameraman. The event highlighted the dangers of filming on location without proper safety measures, especially during early cinema. 6. Eric Fleming, September 28, 1966.
Clint Eastwood. Interestingly, during the show, Eric turned down an offer from Sergio Leone for a fistful of dollars.
Known for his magnetic role in Rawhide, there's no denying that Eric Fleming was a charismatic actor who everyone loved. Yet on the 28th of September, 1966, he met an abrupt end on set in a way that left many in deep thought. It all happened while he was filming a 2-part episode for an anthology series in a remote part of the Peruvian jungle. During a scene that involved navigating a river, the canoe he was in capsized due to strong currents. In that very instant, there was no saving Fleming. While his co-star was able to cling to something that enabled him to survive the accident, Fleming was swept away by the strong currents and did not survive. His body was recovered several days later, leaving a negative impact on the crew and studio. The studio halted the project after Fleming's death and eventually abandoned it, resulting in significant financial loss. 7. Tyrone Power, November 15, 1958.
In 1958, one of the industry's most dashing leading men, Tyrone Power, traveled to Madrid to appear in the epic historical drama Solomon and Sheba.
In November 1958, Tyrone Power was in Spain filming Solomon and Sheba when he suffered a fatal heart attack that would ultimately lead to his demise. The story is as simple as it is terrifying. According to the witness, the 44-year-old actor had just completed an intense sword fight scene when the chaos unfolded owing to physical exertion and emotional exhaustion. Shortly after the scene, Tyrone collapsed from the pressure he had faced, never to see the light of day again. Although he was rushed to the hospital, he died on the way, sending shockwaves across crew members who were left in utter confusion. Because of the tragic event, the studio temporarily had to stop production. They had lost their male lead after all and needed time to mourn. However, not willing to throw all the work away, Tyrone's role was eventually recast with Yul Brynner, and a large portion of the movie had to be reshot, leading to immense losses on the part of the studio. But that wasn't all. This event has since then become an eye-opener to the physical toll that demanding scenes can have on actors. 8. Orma Locklear, August 2nd, 1920. Orma Locklear was a former stunt pilot who transitioned into acting, becoming known for his daring aerial feats. However, no one expected it when an accident happened on set that would eventually put an end to Orma's life. On the 2nd August, 1920, while filming a high-stakes silent movie scene, Orma had to perform a nighttime flight maneuver, flying at low altitude so as to be surrounded by flares for better effect. The plan was to capture a dramatic low-altitude pass. Unfortunately, technical issues and poor visibility led to a crash that no one expected in what was supposed to be the final scene of the movie. Both Locklear and his co-pilot were killed instantly during the disastrous event. The sad event has caused the film industry to begin rethinking the safety protocols for stunt work, especially when involving aircraft. 9. Vic Morrow, July 23, 1982.
Run across the Santa Clara riverbed. Investigators say one of the blasts may have sheared off the helicopter's tail rudder, and the huge rotor blade hit Morrow and the kids, killing them instantly.
While filming a scene for Twilight Zone, a movie set during the Vietnam War, an incident that will never be forgotten in the history of the entertainment industry took place. Unfortunately, the high-risk sequence involved nighttime explosions and other risky stunts that were meant to intrigue. However, while filming, a low-flying helicopter soon lost control, leading to a crash with massive destruction in its wake. The event was sadly not without casualties. Morrow, who was 53, alongside two child actors, 7-year-old Micah Din Lei and 6-year-old Renee Shin Yi Chen, were killed instantly by the helicopter's rotor blades and falling debris. It was indeed a sad event, accompanied by many problems. One of them is a highly publicized trial where director John Landis and several crew members were charged with involuntary manslaughter. Although they were later acquitted, the event has led to stricter regulations for child actors and high-risk scenes in the entertainment industry. 10. Gareth Jones, November 30th, 1958.
What really happened to Gareth Jones, the promising young actor whose life was cut short under suspicious circumstances in 1930s Hollywood?
This is another terrifying celebrity demise that not only happened on set, but left fans traumatized worldwide. Taking place just 2 weeks after Tyrone Power's demise, the world was also made to witness British actor Gareth Jones's passing during a live TV broadcast. Being 33 years of age at the time, Gareth was performing in a live drama, Armchair Theatre. Ironically, his character was meant to die of a heart attack in the script. However, while off-camera, Jones suffered a real heart attack between scenes. The cast and crew were unaware of how serious it was, so they didn't stop the show, but improvised around his absence. The audience also did not realize what had happened until after the show aired. And because it was a live broadcast, there was no stopping the show's release, nor was there a way to edit away the sad incident, which left fans with chills. With the lessons learned from Gareth's demise, the event has led to improved safety protocols on set, causing studios to make positive moves like adding medical staff to live sets and updating emergency procedures. 11. Steve Irwin, September 4th, 2006.
Steve Irwin was adored around the world by millions of people because of his charismatic charm and his love for animals. He would travel the world making animal documentaries with some of the world's cutest and deadliest animals.
Known as the Crocodile Hunter, Steve Irwin was more than just a TV star, but was a global icon. Yet, he was only 44 years old when his obituary was announced after his tragic passing on set. Irwin had been filming an underwater documentary titled Ocean's Deadliest when the ill-fated event occurred. Intriguingly, it wasn't a crocodile or snake that took Irwin's life. Instead, it was a stingray. While swimming above the creature, a stingray lashed out at Irwin, piercing his chest with its barb and causing fatal damage to his heart. Irwin's death stunned the world and served as a painful reminder that even the most experienced wildlife experts aren't immune to nature's unpredictability. 12th, Adolf Caesar, March 6, 1986. Known for his powerful presence, best remembered for his Oscar-nominated role in A Soldier's Story, Adolf Caesar was just 52 years old when he met an abrupt end just 2 days into filming Tough Guys in Los Angeles. Nobody expected it, but right in the middle of filming, he suddenly collapsed from a heart attack, leaving everyone in disbelief and fear. Sadly, by the time he was rushed to the hospital, it was already too late, as he was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. The production was shaken by the incident, with Caesar's role having to be recast. For this, Eli Wallach had to step in his stead with the script adjusted to fit the change. This heartbreaking loss highlighted the urgent need for on-set medical awareness, especially when working with older or health-vulnerable actors. 13. Tommy Cooper, April 15, 1984.
The British comedian and magician Tommy Cooper, loved by many in the UK, was doing his last show at Her Majesty's Theatre in London on April 15, 1984. The show was on live TV.
Tommy Cooper was a well-loved British comedian and magician known for his humor and stage presence. Before his untimely demise, which can only be described as shocking. During a live televised performance on April 15, 1984, Cooper collapsed on stage in the middle of his act, while everyone was watching and enjoying the sight of him doing what he knows best. At first, the audience and crew thought it was part of the show and laughed when Tommy collapsed, not realizing something was wrong. But when they eventually realized what was going on, after minutes of no motion from Cooper, the broadcast quickly cut to a commercial break as the emergency team rushed to his aid. Cooper was later taken to the hospital but was pronounced dead upon arrival. His death has led to a significant change in the industry. Following this incident, ITV introduced a broadcast delay for live shows to better handle unexpected emergencies and save viewers from the kind of trauma watching that Cooper's demise had caused. 14. Roy Kinnear, September 20th, 1988.
Hundreds gathered to pay their last respects to the 54-year-old actor.
British character actor Roy Kinnear was only 54 when he met a tragic end in Spain while filming The Return of the Musketeers. But the time frame and manner of his demise are even more disturbing. The scene in question had to do with Kinnear riding on a horseback, which probably comes off as a routine task. Sadly, things didn't turn out well for Kinnear on this one, and he fell during filming, breaking his pelvis as a result. In the midst of the confusion, Kinnear was taken to a hospital in Madrid. Unknown to all, a broken pelvis wasn't the only problem with Kinnear. The trauma had also triggered a fatal heart attack, which surfaced the next day, leading to his eventual demise. Everyone in the crew was greatly affected by the loss. As a matter of fact, director Richard Lester was so shaken, he almost shut down the film entirely. However, since production was almost over, the movie was eventually completed and dedicated to Kinnear. This is another tragedy that has forced Hollywood to rethink stunt safety, especially for actors without writing experience. Lester, haunted by the incident, retired from directing altogether. 15. John Candy, March 4, 1994.
Actor John Candy died on March 4, 1994 at the age of 43. The cause of John Candy's death was a heart attack. He had been working on the film Wagons East.
While filming the Western comedy Wagons East in Durango, Mexico, no one was prepared for what was about to unfold in the life of John Candy. It happened on the 4th of March, 1994, when John Candy went to his room and never woke up after wrapping up with the shoot for the day. According to doctors, he had died of a heart attack overnight, leaving many in shock. His sudden passing was overwhelming for fans and the industry alike. Although the studio scrambled to complete the film using stand-ins and rewrites, the final product received poor reviews, regardless of the fact that it was dedicated to Candy's memory. Candy's death showed how stress, long hours, and neglecting health checks can lead to devastating consequences, even for those who bring us laughter. 16. Red Fox, October 11, 1991.
By the time Red Fox landed the lead role on Sanford & Son in 1972, he'd been a successful nightclub comedian for decades and had sold millions of copies of his live stand-up albums.
The death of Red Fox is another tragic event that took the world by surprise. The legendary Red Fox, famous for Sanford & Son, was 68 when he collapsed on set while rehearsing for his new sitcom, The Royal Family. Before the tragic event, he was known for jokingly clutching his chest and yelling, "I'm coming, Elizabeth." So when he fell this time, no one believed it was real until it was. Fox was eventually rushed to Queen of Angels Hospital, where doctors revealed he had suffered a massive heart attack and he died within hours after that. Production was halted as a result, and although they tried to continue with actress Jackie Harry, the show never recovered. Fox's passing emphasized the importance of on-set emergency preparedness and immediate medical attention. 17. Ken Steadman, September 20th, 1996. At only 27, Ken Steadman was a rising actor appearing in blockbuster sci-fi series like Sliders. But he sadly never came to his full potential thanks to his untimely death on set. It happened while he was filming a chase scene in the California desert driving a dune buggy. This should have been a routine task, but a tragic oversight soon changed everything for Ken. In a shocking twist of events, the vehicle flipped, and since Ken wasn't wearing a seatbelt, he was thrown violently. The injuries were severe, and despite being rushed to the hospital, he died shortly after, leaving a bitter feeling in the hearts of fans. 18. Godfrey Gao, November 27, 2019.
A-list celebrities and retired athletes face off in physical challenges on the Chinese reality show Chase Me. But today, the show faces a different reality after the death of a contestant.
Godfrey Gao was just 35 years old when he was snatched away by the cold hands of death. The Taiwanese-Canadian actor and model, known for his good looks and warm personality, had been filming the physically intense reality show Chase Me in China when he collapsed mid-challenge after working for over 17 hours straight. He had pushed his body to its limits, and according to witnesses, he had exclaimed that he couldn't go on before falling. Despite desperate efforts to save him after this, he died at the hospital, becoming the first person to die while filming a Chinese reality show. What do you think about these tragic events? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, hit the like button, and share the video. Also, subscribe so you don't miss other fascinating videos like this. See you next time.